Hi there, year 11. As you can see, I'm going to work out a reacting masses example problem for you. So in this problem, we get the balanced equation 6 lithium plus N2 gives you 2 lithium nitride Li3N. And the question asks, what mass of lithium nitride could be produced from 2.8 grams nitrogen gas? So when you get a reacting masses problem, you're always going to get one known, where they give you information about a chemical. In this case, we've been given mass. And one unknown, the other chemical that you're asked to find something about. So your first step is really just to identify those two. In this one, our known is nitrogen gas, and we've been told 2.8 grams. So that's here, N2. And our unknown, the one we're asked about, is right here. Mass of lithium nitride. Once you've identified those, you can work through your three-step method. The first step is to change the known to moles. We can't go between nitrogen and lithium nitride using grams. When you get a balanced chemical equation, those coefficients are moles. So the only way to change from one known to another unknown is to go to moles. So that's step one, change to moles. Step two is where you can do your transfer, and that's using the mole ratio from the equation. That'll be step two. And finally, step three, once you've changed to moles of your unknown, you can change back to mass, which is what they've asked you for. What mass? So let's go ahead and do all that. Step one, change to moles. All right. Nitrogen gas, we've been given mass M, and we're looking for moles N. So we can use our equation, N equals M over MR. We have mass, 2.8. We don't have MR, but as long as we know what substance it is, we can use the periodic table to find MR. So I'm going to do that first over here on the side. The MR of nitrogen, N2, is simply the atomic mass of nitrogen, 14, doubled. So 14 times 2, or 28 grams per mole. All right, once we have that, we can just substitute into the equation. Mass, 2.8, MR, 28, to give us a nice even 0.1 moles of nitrogen. All right. So that is step one complete. Once we have moles, step two, use the mole ratio. Mole ratio comes from the chemical equation. It's the coefficients or large numbers in front of the formula. If we look at ours, N2 doesn't have a coefficient. That means it's just a 1. Li3N has a coefficient. It's 2. So our ratio from nitrogen to lithium nitride is 1 to 2. That's a nice easy one. It's just doubled. You can use my notation here and say we times 2 to get from 1 to 2, which means for our 0.1 moles, we simply double it and we get 0.2 moles. And that's step two done. We've used the mole ratio to change from our known to our unknown. Step three, last one, change back. In this case, we're changing back to mass because that's what they asked us for. We're looking for mass M. We have moles N. So we're going to use the equation mass equals moles times MR. M equals N times MR. Again, MR comes from the periodic table and the formula, Li3N. So over here, if I work out my MR of lithium nitride, it's going to be 3 lithiums. Lithium is 7, atomic mass 7. So we need to do 7 times 3. And nitrogen we already worked out was 14, which gives us a total of 35 grams per mole. Back to our equation. N times MR. We worked out N in step 2. It was 0.2. We just worked out MR from the periodic table. It's 35. To give us 7 grams of lithium nitride. And that is your final answer.